Product of the 60s, created during the time of unrest. Vietnam was in full swing. She sang songs of protest. Beatles and James Brown were on the charts. Surviving into the 70s was a time of uncertainty. The Cold War began to happen. We all hated that Iron Curtain. Nuclear war was all but certain. David Bowie, Ted Nugent, and the Temptations were what you heard on the radio during those days. She found herself out on her own for a time. Wasn't long before she had a new home. Just in time for the 80s. Happier time for rock and roll. 38 Special, AC/DC, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band were rocking those smoky bars, concert halls. She rode around in the back of those fast cars. In the 90s, she got into heavy metal, Fex pedals, Megadeth, The Verve, Guns N' Roses rocked the fans. Oh, sure, she was starting to show her age, but in her voice, you could hear her wisdom. She had seen her share of smoky bars, pawn shops, stages, small towns. She'd even been left behind once in an airport in South Carolina. Then the year 2000 came along, new millennium. She now found herself in the hands of a teenage kid. Dreams of bright lights, fame, like so many before him had tried to claim. He reminded her of the young man who had owned her when she was new. James Marshall was his name. Well, he had played her well, better than most, but she had not shared his fame. Yet under her pickguard, if they looked, they could find his faded name. What a ride these last 40 years had been. She had seen the world in the hands of musicians, all of them gifted. She hoped she would survive, see that next style of music float on by. Being vintage herself now, she knew there was a chance she would get to play Hey Joe once again, or maybe Heartbreak Hotel, taught to her by another young man. Phony old guitars could talk, but then in the right hands, they sure in hell do.